Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla and it's time to crack into a good book. So today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to do the Booktube Real Talk Tag 2.0. I was tagged by Lori and Thomas, and I will leave their channel and slash video linked down below, and highly recommend you check it out because they're really great. But I think this tag was created by Books with Alyssa J and Julia Sapphire, so I'll also try to link that video down below. So this is more of like a chatty sort of video, just generally about Booktube. And so part of the challenge is to like film outside your comfort zone, which is why I'm sitting on my couch instead of over in front of my bookcase, because I just kind of wanted to be more of like a chatty video, you know, different scenery. We've got, well, hopefully some octopus artwork up there. And we have a dog down below, so, you know, we're doing good over here. Good setting. Anyway. So the first question, let's just jump right in. The first question is, if you could give yourself one piece of advice when you started making videos, what would it be? So I mean, I started making videos like a month ago, so I don't have that much like sage advice for myself, I guess. But generally, the things that I've learned so far, this is like a pretty big time commitment. And like, I knew that going into it, but I guess I didn't really realize just how much effort and time it goes into, one, like filming the videos, but also editing things. Processing stuff takes forever, and like part of that I'm sure just comes from the fact that I'm using like my 10-year-old MacBook to edit and process shit, which like takes a million years, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so I guess prepare yourself for the time that it takes to get all these videos together. I think I do regret, one, not starting off with the Booktube Newbie Tag. I did the new to Booktube tag since I thought like the questions were more interesting. But I think not as many people search for that. And I didn't really understand like how to appropriately tag videos to, you know, help YouTube's algorithms actually find my stuff. So that was kind of unfortunate. It took me a really long, I mean, it's like a month in here, but it took me a bit to get more than like 4 followers, subscribers, whatever. So that was a little frustrating. I think, well, one thing I would tell myself is just like really think about your, like the tags that the keywords for various videos. Like, I think I'm still not very good at it. I'm starting to get maybe a little bit better about putting in appropriate keywords so, you know, my videos actually come up. I don't know. So there's that. I also kind of regret not having a Twitter account when I first started. When did I even create it? I created it like a couple weeks into having my channel because I had heard somebody talk about just like, you know, it is really helpful to have a Twitter account so you can promote your videos and interact with people, because a lot of like the behind the scenes interactions, I guess, go on over on Twitter. So I kind of regret not doing that immediately. Just because I think that would have helped grow a bit. I don't know. There's a few things. All right, so the second question is, what are your thoughts on cancel culture? So this is a deep question here. I think in theory it's fine. I do think it's important to hold people like accountable for their actions, especially when, you know, it's something like really terrible, like abuse or murder or something like that. You know, I think like that's when cancel culture is good. Now, I guess I generally don't like it because what seems to happen, to at least in my opinion, is like, you know, people will express an opinion that maybe isn't super thought out, or like things that they've said in the past will like be dredged up and people will be like, oh, they should be canceled, whatever. I don't know. I think, like, it is, I would hope that people would learn from their mistakes and grow from that, but, like, it's kind of unfair to just pile on to somebody and not give them a chance to defend themselves, especially when it's, like, you know, something like maybe a little more minor. I don't know. It's tough. I do think people seem to get offended a lot more easily these days, and I don't generally like how people kind of have that mob mentality of like ganging up on other people. But like, again, in some cases, I think it is appropriate when it's something like really, really terrible and I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here. Generally, yeah, I think it gets a little excessive at times. So we'll just end with that and move on. So question 3 is, do you consider Booktube to be a welcoming community? So like yes and no, again, with my yes and no answers here. I think I have found people who I'm like genuinely excited to talk to and like interact with. So that's really nice, and it's nice to have people like watch my videos and comment and be like excited about my content. I think it's very difficult starting out as like a new booktuber just to have people like find me. And like I said, I've been kind of working on that, but it is hard. You have to like kind of aggressively promote yourself on Twitter and be like, hey, I made this video, come watch, please. So I've been like, people will do like these small booktuber threads, which I find really helpful just to, have people expose my channel. So in that sense, it is very welcoming. Like people are trying to help people out. We all just kind of want to talk about books. But at the same time, I do think that like once you reach a certain point, like, and like I totally understand this, like the larger booktube channels, I mean, there's no way they could like actually comment back on like the hundreds of comments that they receive, and like I totally understand that, but it's like it's a little sad because I kind of want to interact with them too, but like I feel like I can't, I guess, because like what is my comment worth in like a sea of hundreds of comments? So I kind of just don't comment as much on like larger booktube channels. So that's kind of a bummer because I feel like we're kind of segmented into like large booktube channels, smaller booktube channels, etc. I think I will say I think that there's been a lot, especially lately, about like people in the comments or maybe on videos themselves being like, oh, I'm so glad that you don't read so-and-so genre because it's trash, or like people going out of their way to read books that they won't like so that they can make negative reviews. Like I don't really like that because I feel like that shames people for enjoying those books, and like we all have different tastes. And I mean, personally myself, I was and still kind of am hesitant to read certain genres like romance and YA books because I feel like I'm going to get judged for it. And that is unfortunate because I do enjoy a lot of those books, and I don't know, I kind of, just because somebody doesn't share the same book taste as you doesn't mean that their book taste is wrong. That actually reminds me, I'm just gonna kind of ramble in this video. Back when I was an undergrad, I was talking to like the MD PhD student I was working with at the time, and he was like, well, he and another student were kind of made me feel bad about like the fact that I read a lot of fantasy, because they were talking about like how it's so important to read like classics and fiction books that are like thought-provoking and whatnot. And like, sure, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine, but like I don't think that you should feel obligated to read it just because it's considered like high literature or classics or whatever. Yeah, so all of this rambling bits are just kind of going in to say, like, I do think that there is some judgment on Booktube about what people read. So recently on one of my, I think it was my August wrap up, somebody downvoted it, and I was like, this kind of makes me feel bad. And I know it's the internet, people are going to do what they're going to do. But when it's like a handful, like 4 people total have like upvoted or downvoted my video, and one of them is a downvote, like that kind of actually does impact me as a small booktuber, because YouTube's algorithms are going to take that into account and maybe not promote my video as much. And like, that's kind of unfortunate if people are trying to find, books like the books that I recommend, maybe they won't see my video. But like, and it's also kind of hard to not take things personally, I guess. And like, that's something I'm going to just need to work on. But I don't know. It's hard just because like I do spend a lot of time creating these videos, and like, I genuinely hope you like them, and that we can start talking about books, because like that's ultimately what I want to do at the end of the day. I want to talk about books with other people. And it's like, I don't know, in my opinion, like I've never downvoted a booktube video, or like I think just any video, because I just generally don't do that. But I feel like maybe maybe people's mentalities about this are different. Like, I think of using the downvote as like, this is offensive, this should not be promoted or whatever, and maybe other people are like, no, I just dislike this. I worry that like people are using this or like that I'm maybe being downvoted because people disagree with me, and I guess that's kind of another problem that I have with Booktube. Like, no two people are going to share the exact same book interest. Like, that would be highly unlikely. And I'm not offended if somebody doesn't like my favorite books. Like, sure, I'm a little bummed out because like I just want to enthusiastically talk about the books that I love. But at the same time, like, I know I don't like a lot of books that other people do. Like, to give a concrete example, I'm not a big fan of the Six of Crows duology, and a lot of people really like that. But like, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that like I'm going to downvote you because you did like it. Like, I'm happy for you that you have found a good book to read. I don't know. So this is all just kind of a rambly bit of thoughts. So hopefully that is coherent enough to make sense. But like I said, I am having like a really fun time overall, and like I feel like I've met people who I genuinely like talking to, and will continue to talk to, and maybe do some more buddy reads and whatnot. Okay, we'll move on to the next question, which is question 4. What are your thoughts on book consumerism? Do you feel pressured to buy books? So, I mean, I don't feel pressured to buy books. I buy books because I want to buy books. I do worry sometimes that Booktube makes people feel obligated to buy books, and that's kind of like part of the motivation for my free/cheap books video. Because like, sometimes it's just not feasible or practical for somebody to go out and buy books. It's totally fine to use the library or take advantage of other resources. Like, cool, that's great. I personally like buying books, and I like supporting authors, so like that is what I choose to do with my money. So I don't think book consumerism is necessarily a bad thing. I I participate in it and probably support Barnes & Noble myself. I don't know. But yeah, like I have never felt any pressure to buy books because like somebody's talking about it. Like, I'm going to buy books, or maybe like, I'll be more likely to buy books if some of my favorite booktubers are like enthusiastically talking about it, just because like I genuinely want to read it. But there's nothing wrong with using the library. All right, so question 5 is, would you consider yourself a critical reader or reviewer? No. I can do it. Like, I learned how to do that in high school, in my English classes. But I don't particularly enjoy, those deep dives into book contents. Like, at this point in my life, I just want to read to enjoy myself and, like, have, escapism and whatnot. So, I could make my reviews a little more detailed, I guess, but, like, generally, I'm just going to tell you, like, did I like this book? Did I not like this book? And, like, here are some reasons why. I'm not going to, like, overly analyze stuff because that's just not what I want to do. Question 6 is, do you take part in readathons? What are your thoughts on them? Oh, God, my hand is, like, cramping right now because of how I'm holding this camera. I'm technically taking part in a readathon right now, which started maybe August 26th and goes through September 9th. I could be mistaken on those dates. I don't know. But it's basically like Tackle That TBR readathon, which is like, intended to kind of clear out your TBR pile. And there's like some challenges about like read your newest book, read your oldest book. And so like I've done that. I did complete like the 5 main challenges, and then I kind of steered off the rails here because I'm just like, I'm just going to read whatever I'm going to read. Anyway, like, I really like the idea of readathons. I think a lot of them are so creative. I mean, aside from the one that I'm currently doing, I haven't taken part in any of the other ones. But I think just because, like, I don't know, I don't want to, like, set myself into a TBR schedule because, like, I don't know, I'm a mood reader, and I don't want to, like, restrict myself to reading certain books because I feel like I maybe won't enjoy them as much. I don't know. So, I mean, like, some readathons are pretty flexible in what you read and, like, don't require you to have a set TBR beforehand. So, like, those would be better for me. But, yeah, I think they're really fun. I think they're a great way for people to, like, meet up and talk about books that, you know, because generally there's like a set book for that everybody reads at the same time. So like that's really cool because you can just engage with other readers and talk about the book that you're reading. All right. So question 7 is recommend a book with a topic or issue that you are passionate about. So, I mean, unsurprisingly, since my channel has the word Kraken in it, I'm going to recommend The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. So this is a nonfiction book about this woman. She's a naturalist, and she like interacts with different octopuses throughout her career who have like wildly different personalities. So like, and she like, each of the chapters I think is about a different octopus. So that's really cool. You know, you can see how wildly different like an octopus can be. But this is kind of cool. I mean, it obviously says a surprising exploration into the world of wonder, I can read, of consciousness. Yeah, so it's kind of just about what does it mean to be conscious, and like, you know, octopuses are surprisingly intelligent, and it just, I don't know, it's kind of a fun exploration of that. It was, I think I teared up a bit. Like, I think some of this was genuinely touching. But obviously, you know, like I think I've mentioned before in my August wrap up, you know, I am a scuba diver, and like I'm really into the ocean and various sea creatures. So this was really, really great. I highly recommend it. All right, so, well, question 8 is technically not a question, but it says to tag 3 friends. So I think I will tag Kasha and Booklands, Books of Amber, and Kay the Bookworm. Hopefully you guys have not already done this. I think this is a fairly new challenge tag video. Feel free to do this if you so choose. Otherwise, you know, disregard. If anybody else is watching and feels like you want to take part in this tag as well, I tag you too. Anyway, hopefully this was enjoyable. Hopefully it wasn't like too rambly. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think here. Hopefully I haven't like offended anybody horribly. But, you know, give it a thumbs up if you want to. That would certainly help me out with the algorithms. And here I'm just kind of rambling, but so I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you're reading something awesome, and I will see you in the next one.